Listen to this. That's the sound of a human heartbeat. Lub-dub, lub-dub, lub-dub. As a surgeon, I spent years listening to heart sounds. A healthy heart has a rhythm. It fills, it pumps, it fills, it pumps. And one day it occurred to me that practice growth works the same way. Marketing is engaging people in conversation, and in selling is inspiring people to take action. Marketing is the lub, selling is the dub. A healthy practice needs both. Lub-dub, conversation, action, conversation, action. That's the heartbeat of practice growth and the template for each encounter you have with doctors. Now here's where things get interesting. Many advisors are missing the lub. Every interaction sounds like schedule a call, book an appointment, let's meet, review my progress, sign here. The doctor hears lots of action, but very little relationship, very little curiosity, very little understanding. The practice is trying to pump without first filling. Other advisors have the opposite problem. They create content, podcasts, books, articles, webinars, newsletters. People know them, people like them, people consume their content, but nobody takes action. That's the missing dub. The relationship fills, but it never moves forward. Each encounter needs to do both. Lub-dub. Conversation, action. Conversation, action. Now, I'd like to connect this idea to something I teach called the implementation gap. Most advisors assume that doctors don't take action because they lack information. In my experience, that's almost never the problem. Doctors already know many of the things they should do. They know they should save. They know they should invest. They know that they should protect their income. They know that they should create an estate plan. The problem isn't knowledge. The problem is implementation. There is a gap between knowing and doing. And that's where advisors can create value. Imagine a doctor standing on one side of the canyon. On that side is know. On the other side is do. The doctor wants to get across, but something is stopping them. Most advisors think their job is to provide more information, but I see it differently. The advisor's job is to build a bridge, and perhaps more importantly, to make the bridge feel safe. Because when doctors stand on the edge of the canyon that they're on, they're usually not asking technical questions. They're asking human questions. Is the destination worth it? Is it safe? It might work for others, but can I do it? Who will I become if I'm over on that other side of the canyon? What will I have to leave behind? Think about it. A doctor might know exactly what they should be doing financially, but they're still wondering, what happens if I make a mistake? What if I choose the wrong advisor? What if I lose money? What if I fail? What if I discover that the life I've been pursuing isn't actually the life I want? Those are not information problems. Those are trust problems, identity problems, safety problems. And this is where many advisors misunderstand their role. You're not simply explaining financial products. You're helping people cross this bridge. Now, let me introduce another concept I call the white coat test. The white coat test is simple. If a doctor said this to a patient, would it work? Imagine a physician saying, "Trust me, sign here." Let's not talk about alternatives. Would that inspire confidence? Of course not. Patients want to be understood. Patients want to be heard. Patients want to know that they're safe. Well, doctors are no different when they're managing their own money. Every interaction with the doctor should pass the white coat test. Every plank in the bridge should pass the white coat test. Would a physician say this to a patient? If your doctor said it to you when you were a patient, would you listen? If not, don't say it to a doctor, prospect, or clients. because trust isn't built all at once. Trust is built plank by plank, conversation by conversation, story by story, question by question. That's what marketing really does. Marketing builds trust. Marketing builds safety. Marketing helps construct the bridge. Selling serves a different purpose. Selling helps people move forward. Yesterday, I brought my cat into the veterinary clinic for a follow-up. There was a huge St. Bernard, and about 5 people were trying to drag this St. Bernard into the clinic. Finally, they got him in, but they needed to weigh him, so they got him on the scale. He was stopped. Then they needed to get him into an exam room. They were pulling on him and encouraging him and trying to get him to move forward. He needed to just take that first step to get to where they wanted him to go. Marketing without selling leaves doctors standing safely on the edge. Selling without marketing asks doctors to cross a bridge that doesn't feel safe. Neither works particularly well. The magic happens when they work together. Lub-dub, conversation, action. Trust, movement, trust, movement. That's the rhythm. That's the heartbeat of practice growth. And when you begin to see your role this way, everything changes. You're no longer trying to convince doctors. You're helping them answer 5 important questions. Is the destination worth it? Is it safe? Can I do it? Who will I become? And what will I have to leave behind? When doctors can answer those questions with confidence, crossing becomes much easier. The bridge feels safe. The next step becomes clear, and implementation becomes possible. That's why I believe the best advisors aren't simply financial experts. They're guides, they're bridge builders. They're people who help doctors move from knowing to doing. And they do it one heartbeat at a time. Lub-dub, lub-dub, lub-dub. That is the heartbeat of practice growth. If we've not met, I'm Dr. Vicki Rackner. I call on my experience as a practicing surgeon and entrepreneur to help financial advisors accelerate their growth by working with more doctor clients. I've been doing this successfully for the past 15 years. Each encounter you have with the doctor should include marketing, engaging them in conversation, and selling, inspiring them to take action. When they visit your website, I'm sure there's lots of great content, but do you invite them to take that next step and exchange their email address, maybe for a copy of the 9 money mistakes doctors make? At the end of a blog post, do you offer a lead magnet or a challenge to do just one little thing differently? When you have a discovery call, you get lots of great information, but what is the next step? At the end of a review with your doctor clients, what is their next step? Do they have complete clarity about what that is? If you want to ask somebody to take that next step with you, ask yourself, have I done a good job of connecting with this person? Do they feel safe with me? Are they willing to take that next step with me? And if you're a really strong marketer, ask the question, how can I serve this prospect or client by helping them move forward? Because remember, you're in the transformation business. You want to facilitate change. That means doing something differently. When they get to the end of a blog post or some kind of other social media post, do you have an invitation or a challenge to take just one small step? It doesn't have to be a huge step. The important thing is that it's a step. And there you go. Now you have the healthy heartbeat of a doctor encounter. Marketing, selling. Connect, inspire to take action. Follow the link below to download your worksheet about the heartbeat of a successful doctor encounter. If you like these ideas about how to work with more doctor clients, I have more. Click here to view the next video. I'll look forward to seeing you on the other side.